Hey review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morris, the review guy reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one, we are continuing list week because y'all are clamoring, climbing up the stairs, clawing at me for more list videos. You actually aren't. You've been very patient. Thank you for that. But nonetheless, we are continuing. So I like a lot of types of music. I like a lot of styles of music. I don't always cover a lot of styles of music, but there are some great releases this year that I want to go over that are outside of what I conventionally cover. We're talking about some non-metal releases this year that really blew me away that I enjoyed a lot. I covered a lot of these, and the ones that I did cover will be posted down in the description box below. But you know how this works. The releases that were non-metal related that you enjoyed, post them down in the comments below, and let's get right into it. Starting off with Keaton Henson, Monument. Great little minimalistic lo-fi folk album from one of my favorite contemporary artists. So heartfelt and endearing, and sort of to go alongside that, Adrianne Lenker with Songs, another very lo-fi, minimalistic folk album from the lead vocalist songwriter for Big Thief. Better in my opinion than anything that's come out of Big Thief's canon as of late. I really do enjoy her vocals on this record, and both of these records sort of double over as some great folk to check out this year. Nothing Nowhere with One Takes Volume 1. We are getting a new Nothing Nowhere record in 2021, but this is a compilation of the one takes he did on his YouTube channel where he was taking his songs, doing a one take sort of karaoke cover, a lot of times with changed instrumentation or bits of lyrics that are either improvised, changed, swapped in, swapped out, a chorus changed, a melody changed. It sort of varies on track to track. Some are closer to the original than others, but either way, I'm super excited for the new Nothing Nowhere record, and I'm glad that he compiled all of these into one thing. Next up, Ulver with Flowers of Evil. I know a lot of people might feel differently, but I'm so glad that Ulver is going into a new direction, coming into their own even more so. I've enjoyed their sort of synth pop new wave direction in recent times, but nothing could have prepared me for how good this record was going to be, boasting some of the best synth pop and new wave tracks that I've heard in a hot minute. Next up, Charli XCX with How I'm Feeling. I had a phase where I loved the hell out of this record. It is still one of my most played records of the year. That might surprise a lot of you. I just love what Charli XCX does. I enjoy this record more than I do her last studio-length album. Surprisingly, I know most people feel the opposite way. I just particularly really enjoy how intimate, close, vulnerable, and captivating she is on this record. It's sort of intoxicating just how vulnerable she is on this record, and I appreciate her as an artist. In her odd A.G. Cook type PC music camp, over-the-top production style really does help bolster this to be a really memorable record for me that stuck out in my memory and has some really great, catchy, well-written songs on it. Next up, Fiona Apple with Fetch the Bolt Cutters. This is a record that deserved every bit of the acclaim that it got. So powerfully written, great lyricism, great production, great vocal performance, and while I don't think it's Fiona Apple's best like a lot of stans are thinking right now, and I wasn't as big of a fan as a lot of people were because I do think there are some weak tracks, it certainly does stand up against some of her best material in the past. Old Tower with The Last Eidolon. I fucking love this record. I didn't really have much to say about it at the time because there really isn't much to comment on. It's sort of this really nice dungeon synth laden ambient instrumental record that just exudes the aura of walking into an old style Irish tavern and some guy in a cloak and a hood offering you a quest to go save a maiden or something. It has that energy to it, and that's an energy I do enjoy. Next up, Scarlxrd with SCARHXURS. I've had a love-hate relationship with Scarlxrd for years now on this channel. I continue to cover him, and I continue to bash him, but I always see potential. I think he cleaned his act up a lot on this record, and while it does suffer from some of the inconsistencies that has sort of been throughout his entire discography and prevented me from really being head over heels in love with his music, but I think he does an amazing job here of fleshing out and defining both his vocal capability and songwriting. And while they do service as sort of little vignettes, little glimpses, and microcosmoses, I think that for what it's worth, he is one of the best in the genre, and I'm glad that I'm seeing his potential fully realized more and more. I want to shout out Dan Mason with Forever Nothing and I'm Not Going Anywhere. These are his two records that he dropped this year of substance that I enjoyed. One very close to the start of the year, one closer now. Wasn't as big of a fan of I'm Not Going Anywhere, but I did really love Forever Nothing. Some of his best songwriting, some of his best instrumentation, and I appreciate that Dan Mason continues to go into new directions every time he drops new material. I would love to interview him again, and I hope to get in contact with him soon, so look out for that down the line, because I do plan on doing a podcast in 2021 and hopefully hopefully can get him on again. Really love his style and the direction he's going in, of becoming even more psychedelic, even more lackadaisical than he ever was before, and that is cool that he's becoming even more hypnagogic. Next up, Grimes with Miss Anthropocene. Sort of like Fiona Apple, a record that got a lot of praise, at times unwarranted for how overhyped it was, but I personally really enjoy how dark and dingy and sort of off the beaten path she is with art pop, and I enjoy seeing an artist that's willing to take those risks so often on her material, and I appreciate her. Next up, Breaking Benjamin with Aurora. This was released early into the year, but I didn't want to pass it up because I do enjoy these retellings, these reorchestrated instrumentals of their classic material or recent material played in a new format that is very acoustic. It features a lot of collaborations that work really well. There's really not a single collaboration here that doesn't play out in a strong fashion, as well as a new song that I really enjoy, Far Away. And finally, Mac Miller with Circles. This is another record that dropped early in the year, and I don't want people to forget about it. Rest in peace. I don't want to comment too much on this album because I've already said so much about it in the review, but to put it simply, this is how you do a posthumous album. Take notes, people who are milking XXXTentacion. Take notice of this, people who are milking Lil Peep. The links people are willing to go for a quick buck, even if it means basically cash grabbing someone's grave, is insane. This is how you do it. This is how you respectfully release a posthumous album. But yeah, those are just some of the non-metal albums that really impressed me that I enjoyed this year. What are yours? I'd love to know. So let me know in the comment section below which albums of either this list or your own list you enjoyed the most outside of the conventional metal sphere. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is J Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.